Hey friends, welcome back to Toy Foolery. I'm your host, Pigface McGee, and we have an awesome toy today. Today we're taking a look at the DC multiverse, the McFarlane Lobo and his Spacehog. I was super excited about this. I was like, hey, I have to have this toy, not specifically for Lobo, because it really looks like they just reused the same Lobo that they released about 2 years ago. And in fact, it almost has the same accessories. I think the only difference they have is the guitar and the dog. But I wanted to have the bike because it reminded me so much of the Space Ghost Rider, the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Apparently I have way too many vehicles right now, so let's check this toy out and see if it's worth the money. But before we get into that, let's check out the box and make sure it's better than your mother's. So in the front, we have a shot of the bike and his dog, and forgive me because I don't know the name of the dog. Let's take a look at the side. Just some simple print on the side, DC Multiverse Lobo. On the back, which is upside down, let's flip you. We have pictures on how to assemble the Spacehog. Before I get back to the toy, I completely forgot. Hey, let's check out the other sides of the box. And I was gonna say this box was plain Jane, just like your mother's, but actually the artwork on the side of the box, the top and the bottom of the box, I guess, are actually really, really cool. So we have this cool picture, which is, I guess, what the toy should be fully assembled. And then we have this cool artwork that shows the other accessories. We have the alternate head and the guitar that I was speaking about, and the stand for the Spacehog, and we get to see Lobo in all his glory. So now let's take it out the box and get a closer look at it and see if this is actually worth the $70 that we paid for it. And here we have Lobo out the box and with all his accessories. And as you can see, outside of the bike, we actually get a pretty clean and action figure with some actually really nice accessories. Here we have the chain that we saw with the last Lobo figure. We have a new toy, his dog, which I am not 100% sure his name. I'm not going to look it up. Don't really care that much. That's going to just be something I'm going to throw to the side. The stand that goes with the bike, and his guitar. As we have here, we have our normal McFarlane posability, which is fairly decent. Nothing too shabby. Double jointed knees, bends up about this high, probably hindered by the skull on his knee. Ankle pivot, which Spider-Man don't have, which is crazy to me. Marvel. Toe pivot and an ankle pivot. You can sway and split about this much. Yeah, this is just your standard figure. Nothing. Oh, come on, bro. Nothing right home about, like I said, normal standard DC multiverse posability. The head sculpt is actually really nice on it. The alternate head sculpt that comes with it is actually really cool. It's a more sadistic looking, which I wish I took out the plastic before I started shooting this, because now you hear rustling plastic. Here you have the alternate head sculpt. As you can see, it's actually really good looking. Has that sadistic, crazed look that you expect from Lobo. I really like this head sculpt. Since This head is actually since the other head is actually really close to the head that came with the original unit, I'm probably going to use this head when it's on the bike and display with the bike. Just for comparison's sake, here is the original Lobo, and as you can see, besides a little bit of a tweak and I'm on the colors, which might just be that my toy has been sitting on the shelf for so long, outside of the head sculpt, this is the same toy, like same arms, same everything. The other, oddly enough, I think the original one has red on the back and the new one has orange. I think that's the only difference. But they are the same exact toy. Oh, the bite me's a little bit different too. Interesting. But outside of those two things, outside of those two decals, same exact toy. And I guess the head is your preference. Actually, this is seems to be more comic accurate, while this is more in line with I don't even know what the head looks like, but when I think of the comics and I think of the cartoon, this is the face that it reminds me of. But fairly, like I said, this is just standard reuse, nothing to write home about. But what we came here for is the bike. So let's check it out and see how that stacks up to other bikes that we have in the collection. And as you can see, the bike is not even in frame because of how big it is. This is a really cool piece to have. Actually, I'm probably gonna end up shooting this outside of the box. And this room has really crappy lighting, but it's the only way to get the full thing in frame. There we go. That's the best I'm gonna get in the box. It has so much detail in the sculpt in the body. As you can see, the detail of the guts inside, and then you have the two engines, big engines on this back, which reminds me a lot of the Hasbro jet boat from the Fortnite toy. This is a really nice bike. Is the bike worth $60, $70? I don't know. I guess that's up to you to decide. I personally, like I said, it's a buy for me just because of the new head sculpts. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't put any more effort into the body, but the new head sculpts make it worthwhile. And that's just a cool ass shot. So I think that's kind of what you're looking for, is just those shots. Let's take a look at how it stacks up next to the Ghost Rider, the Cosmic Ghost Rider bike. And as you can see, it is way bigger, even if you ignore the fact that it's 7-inch versus 6-inch scale. It is a much larger bike than the Ghost Rider Cosmic bike, by all means. My arcade's in disarray. As you can see, it's the Ghost Rider, just the nose of the hog is way bigger and pokes out just a tad bit further than the Ghost Rider bike does. And as you can see, there's way more detail in the Spacehog than in the Ghost Rider bike, even though the Ghost Rider bike is actually accurate to the show. So I'm not knocking it, just saying that I'm just pointing out that there's more detail. Let's see if I can get the Batmobile in frame and see how it stacks up next to that. Batmobile's not in frame because I don't have room for it, but about the same length from, actually a little bit longer from tail to the front of the Spacehog, just a hair. So, I mean, to be fair, the Batmobile is actually bigger overall, but the fact that it's as long as the Batmobile says a lot. Okay, guys. So, as I was recording this, I realized that the box, my photo box, was not going to be able to contain the awesomeness that is the main man's ride, the Spacehog. So we are now taking it outside the box, and that's all toy foolery is about, is being outside the box. Here we have his guitar, and it was a little detail that I didn't notice before, but if you look really close, and I'm not sure we're going to get it on camera, but it says the main man on the guitar, which is awesome. And if you flip it over, you have the Lobo logo, which is super cool. And that same logo, oh, I just knocked out the thing. That same logo is right here on the base of this unit. Cool logo. Very funny that they decided to use this phallic looking piece as the pivot point, the balancing point for the Spacehog. I don't know if, I know they did it on purpose because it's kind of tongue-in-cheek for Lobo, but it's kind of lowbrow for McFarlane. But you get this cool bike, and there we have it. Let's back it up, and it's the reason why we're not in the box, so we can see the space bike in all its glory. And you check out this detail along the bike. And like I was saying before, I had to take it out the box so I can get all this other stuff in frame with it. The Spacehog is actually a pretty hefty size. You get it if you look at it compared to the Batmobile. I mean, not the Batmobile, the Batcycle. Compared to the Batcycle, it is infinitely larger than the Batcycle. Though I do wish it had some lights on it. I don't know where they would put it, but maybe in the skull face in the front. Let's. And that's Lobo and his Spacehog. Like I said, really good figure. My only complaint is the price point. It is $70 for essentially a bike, and he can't sit on it properly, which I guess for essentially a toy that he doesn't sit on properly. They needed to redo his hips if this was going to work properly, or make his arms longer so that he can sit on his hog properly, or either shorting these points up, but they wanted to make a really cool scope. I get it, but this is, you can't use an old scope on something new and don't plan for the old scope. So that's just really lazy on their part. So I'm torn. Really like Lobo. I like this head sculpt. I really don't care about the dog because it keeps falling off. But the guitar is cool. This is a really cool action figure set. it's just a tad bit too high. If it was $50, it would be a no-brainer must buy. Unfortunately for us, this is not going to get a discount, as we saw with the Batmobile. It's just going to sell out and be gone forever, especially because it's an Amazon exclusive. So I wouldn't say wait for a discount. If you're a fan of the main man Lobo, like I am, you have to get it. Otherwise, skip out on it. Not necessarily the worst figure and figure set and combo. It's not necessarily the worst figure set and combo, but this is definitely not worth the price for this unit. This is, and that's the weird part. I think that's my major gripe with this, is that normally McFarlane is known for being reasonable when it comes to pricing, and in this case, I can't say this is a reasonable set. You're getting a toy that is old, very old. It's not like with the Batmobile set where it's like, okay, we released this a couple of months ago and we're fixing it, so now you know what you're getting. But it's just, and I think this is the reason why I was so hot up to get it. I have the Cosmic Ghost Rider, Frank Castle, and Lobo together riding their bikes in space, and that's super cool. That is the main purpose of me getting this, but I can't in good conscience highly recommend this. This is one of those things where it's like, hey, you're a super fan, get it, because you're not going to be disappointed, because the head sculpts on the new Lobos are so fantastic, and the fact that they get rid of those blue highlights makes it out of this world. But the price point, I know I'm sounding like a broken record. The price point. The price point's the problem. So yeah, guys, if you love Lobo, get it. If you don't, save your $60 for the next action figure that's going to cost $60. And that's it, friends. This is Pigface McGee signing out for Toy Foolery. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.